Dan here, and welcome to my blog. And this is altitude. This is a continuation. This is the second section of the 14 CFR Part 107 Unmanned Aircraft System. And today I went over controlled and uncontrolled airspace. So that's where you see airspace A, B, C, D, and E, and those are your controlled airspaces. And then you have G, and that is an uncontrolled airspace, which means you don't have to worry about contacting the air traffic control to fly in that area. Everything from E back to A, you need authorization from the control tower. They consider the definition, the term, described classification of airspace and services provided. Controlled airspace consists of the airspace defined as a class, and each class having its own dimensions, entries, and operation requirements. Controlled airspace A, B, C, D, and E. Uncontrolled is class G, that portion of the airspace that is designated, that isn't designated as class A through E. And kind of abbreviation, your airspace classification class A is usually from the ground, let's see, from is basically 18,000 feet up. That's where your big jet airliners fly, is up there. We're not going to have to worry about flying our drones in that altitude there. 400 feet, as high as we're going to get. And fly it in class G area, unless there's something specific that you need to do in any of the other ones, which means now you're going to have to get in touch with air traffic control, but you're also going to have to apply for it, and that can take 90 days. So yeah, that's what happens when you get into commercial. Let's see. Class A is generally the airspace from 18,000 feet mean sea level up to and including FL 600. I think you're going to add 2 more zeros after that. 60,000 feet. I think we average, most of the jet airlines around about 30,000 feet. And let's see, it also is no flight under visual rules, which means you're going to be under instrument at that altitude. And again, not applicable to SUAS operation. I couldn't get that high. Alright, next one is going to be class B. And let's see, this is surface to 10,000 MSL. That's usually around busy airports when they're taking off and landing. You're going to have on here, so I can get a real quick shot. Can you see the circles? You got a green, you got a red, and a black. In this case, the red one's got a 70 over 15, green one's got a 70 over 30, and the black one's got a 70 over 50. Now what you're going to do is add 2 zeros to each of those. So you've got a floor, in the case of the red one, 70/15. You have a beginning MSL is 1,500 feet. And then your ceiling, which you got 70 there, add 2 zeros, is 7,000 feet. You just got to think about the zeros. And your lower number is going to be your beginning, and your top number is going to be your ceiling. So you had 70/50, so that's 7,000 feet ceiling, and 1,500 feet, or excuse me, 5,000 feet is going to be your base up to 7,000 feet, and 70/30 is actually going to be 3,000 feet MSL up to 7,000 feet. And that gives you your areas there, your Class B. Again, your surface is 10,000 feet. What you got? All right. You have your perimeter lines. Individual tailored lines. You can see the blue lines there. You got your outer, and then you got your inner. So you're going to be taking this course yourself, so you get to know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just doing the overview. Those are surface areas with two layers. You got your outer layer, and you get your inner segments, surface, base, floor, and ceilings. And again, that's Class B, so you need AT, your air traffic control authorization, to fly in the Class B area. And Class C, surface is usually 4,000 feet above airport elevation, and you got a shelf area. General begins at 1,200 feet above ground level, AGL, up to including 4,000 feet above the airport. But Class C, airspace floors and ceilings may differ according to location. In this one here, you can see your outer rings. You got two rings. Outer ring is a shelf, and it begins at 1,300 feet, and then you have an inner ring, or surface area, begins at surface and ends at 41. So you can see the 41 over the SFC and 41 over 13. So again, you're going to start at 13, going up to 4,100 feet, and then the SFC is your surface to 4,100 feet. And of course, this is also controlled airspace. You got your thick magenta inner and outer rings indicating the Class C airspace. Class C airspace will also have the name of the VFR, Visual Flight Rule section. So you're low enough to do visual on that one, but Again, we don't have to worry about that with the drones, but again, it's controlled, so you cannot fly without permission. And they're just getting, this is basically set up for real pilots. It's just that you need to know where these ceilings are if you're going to be flying your drone, because you can get into these areas accidentally, especially coming, depending on how high you are in the area. And we are now into D. General airspace for surface is 2,500 feet above the airport, and has a 4-mile nautical mile radius around the airport. The surface area of Class D begins at the surface, the ground surface, and ends at 2,500 feet. So you really got to be careful in this area, because if you're within the 4-mile mark, you may have aircraft landing, taking off. So, you know, you're now 2,500 feet, and your drone can climb 2,500 feet. Most drones, if they're not set to, if they're not set with the new system that will only let you go to 400 feet in an area that you're at. So that was the one that had the square. Just want to make sure if you can see the 25 in the square. Let's see. And 25, the square equals surface, and 25 is your 2,500. So what else do I have note on that one? And again, ATS is required to fly. Now the next one is E. Okay, that was the other. The other thing is, if it is a D area, you can see the little dashed circle that lets you know it is a Class D area of flight. And no, E class. E class. Most Class E's base is 1,200 feet AG on up to your class, basically Class A. Excuse me. Class E base begins 700 feet. E could be a base at 1,200 feet. It could be at 700 feet. In some cases, Class E airspace begins at the surface. So it could be all three of those on up to your Class A altitude. E is the controlled airspace, not classified as A, B, C, or D, of course. And a large amount of airspace over the United States is designated as E airspace. And you can get, as you can see the chart, this big area right here is all E. And what did I get in the E? 1,200 base, also sometimes from surface till be 18,000 feet or 14.5 ceilings. Most airports have to have a weather observer or some sort of weather monitoring system along with it. Okay, Class E Airspace technically extends up to, but is not including 18,000 feet MSL. The lower limit of class, the lower class of A. Sectional and other charts depicted in all locations. E with base below 14.5. And again, it has a lot to do with you're going to have your for those that are beginning at 700, you're going to have this shaded magenta, and then a dash circle around airport indicating surface to base. So again, you're going to have to take the course and understand that. I'm going to go over it a couple times anyway before I'm going to get where I want to get to understand it. Alright, next is your Class G. And let's see. And Class G, of course, is your uncontrolled. You don't need air traffic control for authorization. And uncontrolled airspace up to E, but normally is 700 AGL to 1200 AGL. And again, no. See, therefore, designated uncontrolled airspace. G extends from the surface of the base to overlying Class E airspace, normally 700 feet to 1200 feet. So anywhere from there up, you're good to go without ATS authorization. So there you go. That's the abbreviated class on A through G. And you definitely want to do the class so you can understand exactly what's going on. Even though all we're gonna worry about is basically G area flight. But of course, if you live in the city, you know, you gotta understand where you're flying in the city, how far away you are from airports, and what your base to ceiling is for those airports. I've got an airport out here. It's 6 miles. 6 miles is a crow flies. So that's straight flight from here. That does not have a manned control tower. They actually get their information from the Rochester airport. So I'm not exactly sure what my procedure would be to, hey, can I fly this close to the airport once I get the license? So I have to look and see exactly what that's going to tell me, especially when I fire up the drone, because the drone's going to tell me now, or my pad's going to tell me exactly, you know, what my situation is. And living out here in the country, even though I'm 6 miles away from an airport, I can see in my valley miles and miles away. So I got cornfields and everything that I can actually see for long distances. And because I'm in a valley, you can hear anything coming. behind me is a is a hill, and it goes up. It probably goes up 400 feet. So I'm allowed to fly 400 feet above that and get my pictures. If you've seen if you jump on this one, refer to videos that I got, you'll see how I'm flying around in the area here. So, but now that you get your commercial flying pilot license, now you're in a whole different category. So basically, it's just making you more aware. You're still going to control your drone the same way. You're going to crash it, and you're going to get new drones. So register them and continue to fly. So, all right, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Yeah, subscribe, and definitely comment. We'll catch you on the next altitude.